Hi everyone, so today's video is going to be all about the different kinds of bedding available for pet rats. And the number one issue that rats have is respiratory problems, so the type of bedding that you pick definitely plays a part in keeping your rat healthy to make sure they don't have any kind of respiratory issues. I have them listed in order of best to worst. It's just my opinion. I'm not trying to offend anybody, just from personal experience. And the first one is Fleece. I am going to be doing a complete in-depth video on how I use my fleece. Fleece is not for everybody, so my next video is going to be all about fleece and how to use it with your rats, but I definitely think it is the safest option out there, and in the end it ends up being economically cheaper than most of the other ones as well. So next up is Katie's Clean and Cozy. This is kind of like a loose paper bedding. It's recycled and it's really thin and it's affordable. I would use this if I didn't use fleece. They also have it in all different kinds of colors, like here it's birthday cake. With Katie you have to be careful though, because a lot of times they will end up throwing in scented ones, like this one here is vanilla, and then there's another one here that's lavender. Why they scent their pets bedding, I don't know. I guess because people think that it's going to cover up the smell. And as you see here, there's pictures of a rabbit and a guinea pig and a hamster and a rat, and it's just not safe to have your rat around those fragrances and scents. Alright, next up is recycled paper pellets, and this is a good option because it's definitely dust free and it's okay if your rat decides to chew on it, and it's also pretty cheap. However, I get the yesterday's news variety because it's cheaper than the one advertised for small pets. However, it's not the comfiest option, but it's still a great option. Next up is Aspen bedding. This can be a great option. It's pretty cheap and it's virtually dust free as well. And some people think that the Aspen bedding is great when it comes to soaking up smells and odors. And it is, like I said, definitely affordable if you are living with your parents and you don't make a lot of money if you don't have a job. So this would be a great option for you. And next up is Carefresh. I don't particularly like Carefresh just because it's expensive, and depending on the variety that you get or even the color, it can be really dusty and that can really aggravate your rat's respiratory system. So I don't really suggest using Carefresh unless you don't have anything else. It might work a little better when it comes to other small pets like gerbils or something like that. And next up is Katie's paper granule bedding, and it's these tiny little balls here that it's just made out of recycled paper, but it's really dusty and I wouldn't use this unless you are in a pinch. Now we're moving on to beddings that you should never ever use even if you are in a pinch. And the first one up is corn cob bedding. I'm not sure why they still sell this type of bedding because it really shouldn't be used for any small animal. Most of them end up eating it, and it also has a reputation of causing urinary tract infections. It also has high fungal levels in it, so anytime urine or water is going to come in contact with it, it's just going to be a breeding ground for our bacteria. The next one up is pine bedding, and pine has a kind of aromatic smell about it that a lot of people like because they think it's going to cover up an odor, but that same smell is not safe for your rat. It can cause major respiratory issues, and when it comes to kiln dried pine, I also do not suggest it. There hasn't really been any kind of research done stating that when it is kiln dried that those smells and the chemicals are baked out of it. The kiln process just pretty much dries out the wood, and the only research that's been done is actually stating that that smell and the properties inside of the wood are still there even though it's been through the kiln process. I also wanted to go over, if you see something advertised as just softwood shavings, the only softwoods that are used for bedding are pine and cedar, and both of them should never ever be used. If it is aspen, it'll be advertised as a hardwood because aspen is a hard wood. So next up is cedar. Cedar is probably one of the worst things you can ever put your rat on, and it's pretty easy to spot since it's usually advertised as red cedar and it kind of has a funny look to it. But this would only really be safe for a dog kennel, I think. But you should never ever put your rats on cedar. It kind of has the same thing, a really strong smell as the pine, and it's definitely not safe for your rat. Okay, I did probably leave some out. I kind of had just gone to the pet store and surfed through really quickly. And if you have any questions, go ahead and comment below. I have been having problems with my YouTube and my Google Plus account. I'm not sure what's going on, but I will try to get back to you. Thanks for watching.